What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Raging Rainbow. My name is Dylan, doing a review today of Radiant Black number 4. And, well, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, so we're keeping with the this theme of the main protagonist Nathan kind of having these like weird dreams from the alien or whatever, and then we get this pretty cool shot. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like an album cover for like an '80s metal band. Not gonna lie, like specifically early '80s new wave British heavy metal. Like this is the type of shit you would see. So, well, yeah, maybe even with the naked dude. But anyway, so the robot's like talking to him or whatever, and then we go back to like reality where his friend Marshall is kind of like having this moment with his dog and everything, and then Nathan texts him and says that he wants to go like practice using his powers and everything. So his friend gets all into it, and then we see that they come out to this like behind someone's property or something like that, and Nathan's even asking him like, "Are you sure we're allowed to be out here?" And what is it he says? Oh yeah, it's technically the Malik's property. We're good. So he decides to like have him practice like blasting shit by having him shoot. And y'all remember how I mentioned that Kyle Higgins had written another series called Cowl that was about like superheroes union? It was a very good story, not gonna lie. But anyway, those figures that he's shooting at down there, those are the characters from Cowl. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then anyway, he does manage to get one or whatever. And then they're doing more practice, but then he's asking him like, why he wanted to do this or whatever. And he's saying, I'm figuring I should be able to take care of myself or whatever after the red guy kicked his ass. And then he's saying like, know what I can do so I can know when to run. And he says, you think it'll come to that? To which he's like, I don't know, but and then he just kind of trails off. So he's like, what? And he's like, I've been seeing things in my head. So he tells him about the giant robot and all that crap. And then he decides just like piss him off to like really get him to use his powers. And then what is it that he tells him? Justine would still be around if you knew how to conjugate. So I'm pretty sure he was going for consummate, but he even mentions later on that he used the word wrong or whatever. But it does like piss him off enough that he like uses a solid blast and takes out, I guess, all of the figures. The first time I saw it, I thought he literally shot his friend, but then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he shot at the action figures, I guess. Which, no, he didn't. Marshall didn't take them already, right? No, yeah, he was putting them away. So wait, what did he shoot at? Because like on this page, after he had already shot the Gray Ghost, the Gray Raven, like he had already started putting them back in the bag. It looks like. So, if he had already put him away, and then he'd blast, I don't know, I'm confused. I don't know. It looked like he was already putting them away, or was he taking out more? Like, how many action figures did he bring with him? Anyway, he blasts through them, and that's coming from me. I'm literally surrounded by action figures, and I have a lot more right behind me. So, okay, anyway. So yeah, he goes on and he's having like he has more of this like interaction with the robot thing where it's basically telling him like there's a war coming soon and the Radiant will have to fight it. And I think he's basically talking about like the red one saying he will kill you and your entire planet. And then it says to die is to lose everything. Will you do all that is required to save your species? Will you take his life? And then we come back to like reality again, where Nathan and Marshall are walking, and then we get this really interesting interaction, which I didn't think there was anything big going to come from it. I just thought it was kind of a normal thing to kind of maybe ask, where Nathan asks him like, have you ever thought about like what would have happened if you had grabbed the thing instead of me and you had gotten the powers? And he's like, yeah, I think about it all the time. And he's like, I've got like 100 ideas, at least 80 of them involve me getting crazy rich. And he's like, but that's not what happened. You got it. So you have the power. Shit happens. So he's like, you've had these powers for a minute and you've like barely done anything with them. It took me asking how many times before you came out today. So he's telling him, like, I'm just being like cautious or whatever. He's like, oh, counterpoint, you lack vision. So he's like, what? He's like, hey, you've always been good on the page, but never an ideas guy. That's okay. Your prerogative. But could you be doing more? Should you be doing more? Probably. Yeah. I know I would be. Then again, there's probably a lot of things I'd be willing to do that you aren't. And he's like, oh, come on, that's a bunch of bull. And then, like, right at that moment, he gets cut off because then Radiant Red, I guess that's what we're going to call him, he shows up and is like, hi, Nathan. This is a nice town you got here. Let's have a talk. So he, like, picks him up and throws him, and mid-throw, or mid-fly, I guess, he activates his power and, like, turns on his suit or whatever. And this time, finally, he decides to act a little bit more like, not even just a hero. He decides to act like, I mean, to quote, Don Vito Corleone, he decided to act like a man. Like, I mean, yeah, like he finally, you can see it in his eyes, the way that he's drawn here. That clearly he's ready. And then, like, Marshall's on the side, like, oh yeah, I'm about to record you getting your ass kicked and everything. So he comes back at him and starts, like, laying I'm not gonna lie, like, the fight was actually not bad. He's actually putting in effort, solid effort here. But then he does this thing where, like, they're kind of going at it, and then he does kind of the same thing that Red did to him last time, where, like, he beats him so hard that, like, the face mask is all cracked, except instead of his just getting a crack, like, his actually has a piece broken out so you can see the person looking all scared underneath. So he does that thing where he tries to be like, Dirty Harry, and, like, tells him, like, don't come back here ever again and everything. Because he tried to, like, threaten, his family and everybody he knows. So he, like, beats him down and he's like, you know what, don't come back here or whatever. Like, he thinks that was going to work, I'm assuming. But then, of course, like a villain, he immediately just tries to strike at him when he has his back turned, which is what a villain does. And then he's like, you idiot, what did you just do? What did you think he was going to do? This man's literally just showed up in broad daylight while you were walking with your friend, not in your superhero guise, and then proceeded to threaten you in public in front of your friend while he's recording. And you really thought that just saying, don't come back here ever again was gonna, like, have him running away? Come on now. So all of a sudden, like, the building starts coming down and he tells him, like, hold something up right now, and then trying to, like, save people and everything. And then with his last little bit of effort, because the red guy was basically like, there's nothing we can do, it's gonna, like, what's going to happen is going to happen. And then he finally decides, like, you know what, the only thing I can do is try and save him. So, like, he threw him out of the building and everything. So building comes down, and then we can see, this is where I'm saying I didn't see this coming, where Marshall comes over and he's, like, digging him out of the rubble. And then we cut back to the robot having this interaction again with Nathan. And the robot asks him again, he says, our connection is final, permanent. For the duration of your life, you are a part of existence. But war is near, soon, for the Radiant. He will kill you and your entire planet. To die is to lose everything. Will you do all that is required to save your species? Will you take his life? And then Nathan just doesn't respond. So then, like, it takes a moment to give him a second, I guess, to respond. And it's like, then your world, you will die. So he pretty much doesn't respond when Marshall's trying to wake him up. And he starts freaking out, like, yelling for someone to help. And then right at that moment, the little sphere thing, like, floats out of his chest pretty much. And then I don't know if he grabbed it or if it just, like, connected with him automatically. But then we can see now Marshall is in with the robot, and it's giving him the same spiel, like, saying, war is soon and everything, like, to die is to lose everything. Will you do all that is required to save your species? Will you take his life? And Marshall, without hesitation, really is just like, yes. And it's, okay, yeah, so that's where he reaches out and grabs for it. So that's, yeah, like I said, I did not see that coming, that Nathan was just gonna die. I did not think that was going to happen. And if you haven't read this yet, I'm sorry if that was a spoiler to you, but yeah, that was a little bit unexpected, but I'm not entirely certain that he's going to stay dead. Like, I kind of get the feeling something wacky is probably going to happen and he's going to come back, because it is comic books. But hey, they might subvert my expectations and actually have him stay dead. So I'm willing to stick around and see what happens for that. If anything, I am willing to say I'm glad that that Kyle finally has, Nathan, well, had Nathan finally acting a little bit more like a hero, a little bit more like a man, just showing some more assertiveness. That doesn't even have to just be like a male thing, but he's being more assertive and finally decided, like, I'm going to learn what I'm capable of. I'm going to learn to like fight back, fight for myself, and defend myself. So unfortunate that it ended that way, but he did die a hero because he was even saving the villain. So he did what a hero would do and save the villain, even at the cost of his own life. So kind of sucks though, because I mean, he was really getting somewhere there for a second. But hey, we'll see what Marshall's going to do. I don't know. Like I said, I get the feeling somehow Nathan's gonna come back. Is he gonna be the purple one? Maybe he's gonna be a purple, or maybe he comes from like the future or something. Because you remember that like vision he had of himself with that like badass like glowing cape. Like maybe that, I don't know. Maybe that's going to be a thing. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see. But like I said, this one was full of some surprises in there. So if you guys are keeping up with this series, I would love to know what you thought about this. Did that take you by surprise like it did me? Because I can 100% fully admit that one caught me by surprise. So let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. And if you like this video, then do like the video and subscribe. Do feel free to share it with all your friends if you really liked it that much. But if you guys are done here, then go read a book. And if not, then I will see you on the next video.